Coming in at number 10, we have Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. These two were on the rise in the first few months of 2010. These two met while working on the set of the romantic drama The Last Song and decided to give it a shot. For real. Appearing all cuddly and cozy on the red carpet, while they were together for over 2 years, it was severely on-again and off-again relationship, which culminated into them getting engaged in 2012. Yes, getting engaged to the person you keep breaking up with is always a healthy way to start any marriage. They decided to call it quits in 2013, and since then, the two have had vastly different careers. In 2014, the song Wrecking Ball was at the top of the charts alongside with the music video, which Miley swings on the wrecking ball in her birthday suit while licking seemingly everything in sight. Liam seems like he was on the track to have a steady career after starring in the Hunger Games franchise, but he suddenly stopped acting in all mainstream media following 2016's Independence Day resurgence. These two definitely wish they had never met each other. Maybe The Last Song would never have been made and Liam could have been Thor instead of his brother. Coming in at number 9, we have Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Justin actually first met Selena after his agent arranged a date for them, and apparently Selena was Justin's celebrity crush and the feelings were possibly mutual. After Selena referred to Justin as her little brother for over a year, they were spotted together on the red carpet at Vanity Fair Oscars party in 2011. They were together for a hot minute before Justin jumped ship and started seeing his current wife, Hailey Baldwin. Now their relationship was also rocky at first, with everyone being on again and off again over and over and over roughly until 2016. When Justin officially dropped Selena from his life and committed to his new boo. Since then, Selena has found a few other boy toys in her life, but so far has been unsuccessful finding a new man. Justin, however, is happily married and in a better place mentally than he has ever been. Getting rid of each other seems to have been the best thing they could have done for themselves, and it has paid off. Coming in at number 8, we have Taylor Swift and Matt Healy. Taylor Swift broke up with someone? When does the album come out? Taylor Swift and 1979 frontman Matt Healy were taking the media world by storm when they were spotted holding hands and attending each other's concerts earlier this year. Taylor ended her 6-year relationship with Joe Alwyn. She quickly bounced back with the singer who has stirred up a lot of controversy for spouting racial slurs, political rants, and just trashy trash. Following the rumors of their romance, Matty started playing She's American at his concerts, referencing Taylor throughout the gigs. They were confirmed to be in a relationship sometime in May, but less than a month later they had split for good. Apparently, Taylor finally came to her senses and dropped the menace from her life. Hopefully nothing but good things will come from this split, and by good things, I mean a new song I can scream to in the car. Coming in at number 7, we have Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. What has been said about these two would shock you these days. Amber and Johnny first got together in 2009 after meeting on set of the No Juice Diaries. It's not actually called that, but we can't say that on the internet. It's a word that rhymes with gum. Around 6 years later, they were married and lived happily ever after. I am just kidding. They ended up getting divorced oh so quick. Literally a year after getting married, Amber Heard filed for divorce, claiming that Johnny had been physical with her while under the influence. This resulted in Johnny opening a lawsuit against Amber after an opted piece was released in the Washington Post. While she did not name Depp, she heavily implied it was during her time with him that the alleged situation took place. Eventually, they went through a very nasty and public trial, free to watch online might I add, and the judge ruled in favor of Mr. Depp. He was awarded $15 million while Amber received $2 million in a liable countersuit. I don't know. A lot of big words that mean rich people are richer now, and Amber and Johnny wish they had said to the No Juice Diaries and the No Juices. Coming in at number 6, we have Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik. These two first started seeing each other in 2015 and have had one of the most public on-again, off-again relationships in history. Zayn found Gigi attractive, he asked her out, she said yes, nice and wholesome. What is less wholesome is the fact that these two couldn't commit to each other for more than a few days. No, I am exaggerating, but that's basically what it felt like. The first split came around 7 months after they got together. Okay, lots of time. They were only broken up for 5 days before getting back together, a pattern which would continue until 2021. These two have made up, broken up, chucked and bucked. I mean, come on guys. You knew how bad this was for your mental health, right? Despite the pair having a child together, thanks to their 15th reunion or so, however many times they've split, but that child is the only good thing that ever came from that relationship. In at number 5, we have Anna Faris and Chris Pratt. Anna and Chris met in 2007 on the set of Take Me Home Tonight. Only 1 year after they began seeing each other, they were engaged and became one of Hollywood's most favorite comedy couples. They went through some hard times together, having to deal with their son Jack being born 9 weeks too early. While they bounced back from that and began raising their son, they filed for divorce in 2017 after 8 years. While neither have actually confirmed what caused the split, it seems like it boiled down to a case of Pratt being too busy and not having enough time for their family. At the time, he was heavily involved in the MCU and starred in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So it's not that far-fetched to think that Anna may have been neglected by her hubby. Since the split, they have had successful love lives and co-parent Jack very well together. But they're happy to be out of their old relationship and are happy for one another. Look at that, people being nice to each other after a breakup. Weird, isn't it? In at number 4, we have Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. While many people in power have been trying to tell women what to do with their bodies forever, Cruise was forced to address rumors that he made his third wife, Katie, give birth in secret and in complete silence. A practice Scientologists believe may prevent any permanent psychic scars caused by negative vibes at birth. Cause yes, starting life in a deep dark dungeon sounds super healthy. Cruise confirmed that this was true, but made the argument that the process was not as strict as many people believed it to be. He even had a special pacifier made for Katie to keep her as quiet as possible during the birth. According to Katie, Tom was also very mentally manipulative during their time together, apparently micromanaging every single thing she did, down to the clothes she was allowed to wear. Thankfully, Katie came to her senses and filed for divorce from Tom around 2013. Since then, Tom has been a single Pringle because his reputation is rough, and Katie has been happy and free of such a little angry man. Coming in at number 3, we have Courtney Cox and David Arquette. Ever since starring together in the cult classic horror franchise Scream, these two have been entangled in each other's lives in both good and bad ways. By the third Scream movie, they had gotten engaged, and by the year 2000, they were happily married. Now, of all the relationships on this list, this one is actually one of the more tame breakups. Arquette was a bit wild in his early days of stardom, to the point where he had initially made Courtney uncomfortable, but as time grew on with her, they were happily married for 10 years before things started to grow stale, even having to attend couples therapy. Since 2011, they have stayed apart as a couple, but have been able to co-parent their daughter Coco and maintain a healthy friend-like relationship. The breakup caused Arquette to take stock of his life, and he checked into a rehab facility. So far, the only time they've worked together again was on set of the 5th Scream movie, but thanks to one of them kind of being deceased now, it will more than likely be the last time we see them together again. Coming in at number 2, we have Taylor Swift and Harry Styles. Oh look! It's Taylor Swift again! In 2012, Taylor and Harry formed one of pop's most iconic power couples, being dubbed Haylor by fans. Their relationship didn't last long, however, because previously mentioned on this list, Taylor Swift has had the strange ability to create a catchy tune from some of her darkest times. Following a trip to the Caribbean, of all places, the couple decided to call it quits in early January of 2013. Harry Styles definitely wished he had never met Taylor in the first place. Following their split, Taylor started working on her new album, titled 1998, the same year she was born. Cementing her move from the world of country to pop, so many quality songs came from that album that surely made Taylor millions, at the expense of her ex, Harry. Mr. Styles was still a member of the boy band One Direction at the time, when he returned to a full-time gig as a pop star following the split. Things were slowly taking a turn in a different direction. The album made the other bandmates feel like Harry was being targeted, and it also seemed to take a bit of a mental toll on the performers as well, as he was not so quick to answer questions or share his side of the breakup. Instead, he kept doing his job and made music for the world to enjoy, so much so that that when the band eventually split up, he claims Taylor was an inspiration for him to venture off on his own to gain even a sliver of power that Taylor had. And in at number 1, we have Kim and Kanye. Kim and Kanye actually met almost 12 years before becoming official. After Kanye dropped a song called Cole, which he name drops Kardashian, he professed his love to the world. Little did Kim know that the relatively sane rapper was on his way down a dark road. In 2018, the first of what would be a million dominoes began to fall on Mr. West, after he decided to post several racially fueled Twitter rants online. While that began affecting his career in front of the camera, it had apparently taken a toll on him behind the scenes as well. Kim had gone on record claiming that Kanye became much stricter with her children than he normally was towards them at the end of their relationship. By 2020, the couple was constantly fighting, and Kim claims that Kanye became too focused on his career rather than their own children. But 2020 was the year he officially snapped. After he confirmed he was running for president, he revealed intimate details about Kim unprompted. In January of 2021, she officially announced her split from Kanye and simultaneously introduced the world to her new boo, Pete Davidson. The only good thing to come out of him, in Kim's opinion, is her wonderful children.
Number 10. Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian. One fateful night in October 2021, Kim Kardashian hosted Saturday Night Live and starred alongside Pete Davidson in a sketch parodying Aladdin. While the two may have played lovers on stage, even sharing a brief kiss during the scene, the romance continued long after the curtains were drawn, as Kim claimed the kiss gave her a little zing, and a month later her and Pete started being regularly seen together in public, and eventually revealing that they were in fact dating for about 9 months. They were traveling, they were shopping, and raising Northwest, Kim's daughter. Pete even got a tattoo at one point to show his loyalty to the family union, which sounds hardcore for some, but for Pete it's just another Tuesday. All of this is coming off the heels of Kim's recent divorce from rapper Kanye West, which left the three as targets of a media frenzy, and having every moment of their drama posted online for the world to see. After 9 months, the couple split and Pete started dating someone new, but that didn't last very long, as at this year's Met Gala, Kim and Pete had a reunion on the red carpet, and Pete was reportedly seen staring longingly into Kim's eyes as they spoke about their feelings, and he spoke about nothing but vibes between the two. That's cute. But these two getting back together is definitely in the near future. Here's hoping that it's 10 months this time. Number 6. MGK and Megan Fox. Megan and Machine first met in March 2020 on the set of the indie thriller Midnight in Switchgrass. The production was shut down after 2 weeks because of, the world at the time, but long after the camera was cut, the two were still keeping in touch, spending a majority of their downtime together and developing a solid relationship. Sort of. You see, Megan was technically married at the time to her husband of 10 years, Brian Austin Green, but was quarantining separately from him. Green posted on Instagram 3 days after Megan's birthday that the pair had in fact been on a break since December of 2019. Their relationship had been rocky from the get-go, being married and divorced twice in 10 years, but that rocky road seemed to lead to MGK as well, as the pair got engaged just under 2 years after meeting. But things took a dramatic turn for the worst in February 2023 when over Super Bowl weekend Fox suddenly unfollowed MGK's social medias and removed almost all of the photos of them together. She also posted on Instagram, quoting a Beyonce lyric, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath," from the artist's 2016 Lemonade song Pray You Catch Me. Many fans began speculating that there may have been some kind of cheating situation, or that the pair were simply about to split up and never look back, but Fox eventually deleted her post and revealed to insiders that the pair had a fight over the weekend that left them questioning the relationship. The pair are still very much on and off in terms of their relationship, and while they keep in touch and are still trying to work things out, Megan has stopped wearing her engagement ring, so that can't be a great sign. Number 8. Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. The pair first met in 2014 when Cabello, a member of the group Fifth Harmony, and Shawn Mendes were opening acts for singer Austin Mahone on his tour. They were often seen backstage engaging in intimate conversations, with Cabello claiming that Mendes was one of the only people on that tour that would ever actually come up and say hi to her. Following the tour, the pair kept in touch, sparking relationship rumors that would continue for about 4 years. They would often post videos of themselves covering love songs together, as well as several photos suggesting that they were always going on excursions or just spending a lot of their free time together. But it wasn't until 2019 that the pair would be spotted by TMZ holding hands and kissing kissing in public at a 4th of July party, and the confirmation was clear. They were inseparable for almost 2 years, posting hundreds of photos of their adventures together and an excess amount of PDA as well. Like, guys, calm down. When suddenly in November 2021, the couple announced that they would be ending their romantic relationship, but that their love for each other as humans was stronger than ever. Okay, whatever that means. 3 months later, Camila revealed the breakup was the result of shifting priorities professionally, but maybe a little breather was all they needed, since at Coachella in 2023, they were seen making out, seemingly back together, or possibly stirring a toxic pot of getting back with your ex when you know it's a bad idea. Like don't do it. Just don't do it. Number 7. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. The Smith family has been at the top of the news storm recently after it was announced that Jada Pinkett Smith's Facebook talk show Red Table was being cancelled. One topic that was brought up on the series before its cancellation was the revelation of an entanglement, whatever that means, between Pinkett and singer-songwriter August Alsina during a brief break the couple took in the early 2000s. Pinkett was quick to bounce back though after breaking up with Will, entangling with August, and then eventually getting back with Will to continue their marriage. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows though, as the couple still has marital issues to this day. They've been thrown even further under the bus by their own kids, Willow and Jaden, who have called the pair out on their lack of proper parenting skills and for essentially leaving them to their own devices growing up. Together, Jada and Will carry around a dark storm cloud of negativity and spread it to everyone they interact with. So better bring an umbrella, guys. Number 6. Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson. This bad romance started in the early 1990s when the two first met at a nightclub, and 6 weeks later they flew to Cancun for a weekend getaway of wholesome family fun, I'm sure, only to be married to each other 96 hours later. Their romance quickly soured, however, when they returned to California to find that a scorned electrician, Rand Gunther, who had recently been fired from a job working for Lee, had procured a certain tape. This tape showed the couple being intimate together, and he wanted them to pay. Anderson and Lee filed a $10 million lawsuit to attempt to prevent the tape from being published, but the suit was eventually dropped. The couple have come clean in interviews, saying that not being able to do anything about the tape was adding way too much stress and frustration to their relationship, and the couple called it quits in 1998. They were on and off over the years, with Anderson even briefly being married to musician Kid Rock in 2007, and Rick Solomon, who was a champion poker player, in 2008. Pam and Tommy would eventually get back together towards the end of 2008, but even moving the family back in with Tommy wasn't enough, because the reunion was very short-lived, as the couple would call it quits for good about 2 years later. Number 5. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. J Biebs and Selena were Hollywood's young golden couple when they first got together in 2009 after being introduced by their managers, following an interview with Justin where he admitted that Gomez was his celebrity crush. It appeared that the feeling was mutual though, as later on that year on New Year's Eve, Justin appeared in Las Vegas serenading Gomez with his song One Less Lonely Girl, and cuddling up as he did it. Initially though, it seemed like Justin was simply viewed as her best friend, seeing as she once said that she felt like Justin's big sister. Well, in 2010, they were spotted together on a date, and the rest is media storm history. Their relationship became the talk of the town. He even rented out the Staples Center just so the two of them could be alone together on a date. Despite the romantic gestures, Bieber had reportedly started cheating on Selena, and they split. But Gomez is a forgiving type, and the pair have continuously been on and off again for nearly a decade. At one point, they even got back together and moved into the same apartment, only to break up again. Like, immediately. Do you guys know how hard it is to rent a U-Haul these days? Number 4. Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Miley admitted to dating her co-star from the film The Last Song in 2010, but the romance has been anything but picturesque. In June of that same year, Miley denied rumors that there had been a split taking place between the pair, but in August, the rumors had been confirmed. The couple was quietly on and off again a few more times before publicly announcing their reconciliation in April 2011. And in 2012, they were engaged, and all seemed to be back on track. But the bad news came in like a wrecking ball as the reports began surfacing of Liam Hemsworth cheating on Miley. Within a few months of the engagement, they announced that the couple had called the wedding off and has since maintained an air of secrecy about their exact relationship. But we have to wonder, does she still got that ring though? Number 3. Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick. Keeping Up with the Kardashians is a historical series in the world of reality television. For over a decade, fans have been able to watch the family grow, both literally and figuratively, with the addition of friends, family, and in this case, lovers. Scott and Courtney's story began where all fairy tale relationships begin, at a famous friend's house in Mexico. In 2006, the pair attended a mutual friend's party at his home in Mexico. A photo from that night shows the two sitting together but nowhere near each other. Disick recounts liking Courtney almost immediately, but that she wanted absolutely nothing to do with him. But something must have changed in between A and B, as the two appeared as a couple on the series premiere of the reality show in 2007. At first, the family was standoffish, claiming that Scott was immature and that his loyalty meant absolutely nothing. Kris Jenner, Courtney's mom, even said in one episode that she knew Scott was cheating on her daughter. She just wasn't sure how to go about the situation. Now, Disick denies those claims and reaffirmed his love for Courtney until he couldn't deny any longer because his sisters, Kim and Chloe, found a series of text messages on an old phone to someone named My Wife. The text revealed he had cheated on her while the family was staying in the Hamptons, and Kim was furious for like a second. A year later, she would announce that the pair were expecting their first child together, seemingly making the whole cheating ordeal water under the bridge. But it didn't stop. Over the years, the couple has split and healed over and over and over, time and time and again, and at one point, Disick even entered rehab with the support of Courtney, and he still cheated on her. In 2015, another round of allegations came out, and they split, only to get back together again, and then split, and then get back together again. And now they have 3 kids, and have been doing a good job as co-parents. But with Courtney now married to a musician, Travis Barker, we've got to wonder, is she gonna pull a Scott on this man? Number 2, Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik. In 2015, Gigi Hadid had just split up with boy band singer Joe Jonas and was on the search for a new man that she found in the form of Zayn Malik, a boy band singer. The One Direction singer took an interest in Hadid after standing in on a photo shoot that she was involved with. They spent a lot of time together and became very close. So close, in fact, that in 2016, Zayn would confirm that Gigi was in fact his current girlfriend. They made their first public appearance together at that year's Met Gala, cosplaying as a cyborg knight and the evil witch who rules the land. And not long after, the couple split, only to get back together 5 days later. 5 days. Seemingly back without problems, the couple continued to post lavish lifestyle pics and all seemed well until March in 2018, when the couple announced that they would once again be taking a break. But then the next month, they got back together, and then a month after that, they broke up again. Do you see the pattern here, guys? Take the hint, okay? The universe is clearly telling you something. Number 1, Charlie Sheen and Brooke Mueller. For those who don't know, Charlie Sheen is an actor. You may recognize his face from the show 2.5 Men, as well as his performance in the much-loved Scary Movie franchise. After he met Brooke Mueller, his life would forever be changed. The two got married in May 2008, and Mueller gave birth to a set of twin sons the following year. The couple seemed happy, and family life was on the horizon, until the couple got into a heated dispute in Aspen in 2009, and Charlie got handcuffed. He was charged with felony menacing, as well as third-degree assault charges and criminal mischief. Now, most of the charges were dismissed, and Sheen pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault, so he received a sentence that included rehab, probation, and anger management. The couple filed for a divorce, but that certainly wasn't the end of their public fiascos, as they were constantly seen canoodling together and being romantic, despite the fact that Mueller was herself in and out of rehab as well. Way to define long distance, guys, and toxic.
Coming in at number 10 is Taylor Swift and Matt Healy. Taylor Swift and 1975 frontman Matt Healy were taking the media world by storm when they were spotted holding hands and attending each other's concerts early this year. Earlier this year, Taylor ended a 6-year relationship with Joe Alwyn, and she quickly bounced back with the singer who has stirred up a lot of controversy for spouting racial slurs, political rants, and just trashy trash. Following the rumors of their romance, Matty started playing She's American at his concerts and referencing Taylor throughout his gigs. They were confirmed to be in a relationship sometime in May, but less than a month later, they had split for good. Apparently, Taylor finally came to her senses and dropped the menace from her life. Now, hopefully nothing but good things will come from this split, and by good things, I mean a new song. But I mean, hey, we all have crappy rebounds, Taylor. I don't blame ya. Billie Eilish and Jesse Rutherford. When the news first broke of Billie and Jesse getting together, the internet drowned them in negative comments comments calling to question why she was dating someone 10 years older than herself. To poke fun at this, the couple dressed up as a baby and an elderly man on their first Halloween together, this type of thing that would become the norm in their lives. The couple were always spotted wearing matching clothes or outlandish outfits, even making their red carpet debut while wearing matching Gucci pajamas at the 11th annual LICMA Art and Film Gala. The couple were also known for their very public displays of affection, PDA, and inside jokes. They seemed very happy together until this past May when the news broke that the pair would be splitting up, claiming to be a mutual decision. Whether the spark just fizzled out or something darker has taken place, Jessie and Billy will be fine and find new people soon. And I'm sure Billy will look back on this relationship with a lot of regret. Number 8. Diddy and Young Miami. The rap star Young Miami confirmed that she and Mr. Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, are no longer together. The couple went public with their relationship in June of last year, but let everyone know it wasn't exclusive, even though they were together every day of the week, basically living together and letting the internet call it whatever they wanted. To double down on the claim, anytime they've been asked if they are official, they must list the people they've been with outside of each other, like they're all alibis in court or something. This past year, the world was shocked when Sean welcomed his 7th child into the world with a woman named Dana Tran. While the pair had decided to keep things private, apparently this was not part of the deal, and Miami has made it clear that Sean is no longer her man in any way, shape, or form. So while Sean is stuck raising another baby, Miami will be sipping poolside surrounded by her lovers. Number 7. Avril Lavigne and Tyga. Yes, they dated, and I know what you're thinking, what a strange pair, and I agree. The skater boy singer was dating fellow musician Tyga since being spotted together at a Paris fashion show in March. She had just broken up with her boo Mod Sun, and as many do, she decided to jet off to France to seek comfort. Tyga was also in a similar boat, having split with his ex Blac Chyna and seeking a similar peace of mind in the fashion world. Their relationship was heavily publicized by themselves, as they were constantly posting pictures and videos of themselves cuddling together and getting close. Recently, the couple decided to call it quits, but are apparently still friends and talk behind the scenes. Tyga even gifted Avril with an $80,000 necklace earlier this year. No reason in particular, just did it. This man loved her no matter how much it cost. But I mean, hey, it's nice to know that they will no longer be jamming their wealth and PDA down our throats. Number 6. Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes. Shawn and Camila were actually together a few years ago, but they ultimately split in 2019. However, thanks to the human brain being the joy that it is, they couldn't stop thinking about each other and got back together earlier this year. Splitting and getting back together is one thing, but the public way they've done it is so in our faces. They collaborated together to make music to be like, hey look, we're here again, only for news to break that they have split again. These two are so flippy floppy, they might as well be pancakes. Shawn claims the split this time around was due to his need to mature more in his life and that he was unable to do that with Camila around. The latest reports say they're both single, but Camila has been busy and it looks like she'll be the first one back on her feet. Will they probably get back together though? Yeah. Probably. Number 5. The Weeknd and Bella Hadid. In 2016, Bella was on the cover of Glamour magazine where she announced she was dating The Weeknd, aka Abel Tesfaye. At the time, The Weeknd had just released his popular album Starboy, and while it received critical acclaim upon initial release, following the announcement by Bella, The Weeknd became a headliner in the news world, questions being thrown left and right, who, what, where, and why. Since then, the couple has been going strong and seems to be using their celebrity status to improve each other's careers. Bella has maintained her modeling gig and now acts as a social media influencer, while The Weeknd has only grown in popularity, even has been cast to star in the new HBO Max called The Idol, chronicling a fictional pop star attempt to remain relevant and her meeting of a man named Tedros, a nightclub enthusiast, who was just overall a terrible person. Now, it looks like his performance on the show had translated somehow into his life, as the couple recently announced they've split, leaving The Weeknd to do whatever it is The Weeknd does. Number 4. Bella Thorne and Scott Disick. Who would have thought that Cece from Shake It Up would end up being the wild child she is today? Bella rose to fame on the Disney Channel, but has shifted her efforts these days to creating content online and working behind the scenes on films as a producer. During a recent stay in Cannes, France, she was spotted getting hot and heavy with Keeping Up with the Kardashians co-star Scott Disick. Scott was famous for dating and having 3 kids with Kourtney Kardashian. Now, they took the internet by storm with the news of their romance, but that storm quickly turned to rainbows and sunshine as their love fizzled out almost as fast as it formed. Apparently, Apparently what happens in France stays in France, except for the smell that lingers for a while. Number 3. Drake Bell and Janet Von Schmeling. Drake was a small screen sweetheart in the early 2000s, starring in several Nickelodeon shows like Drake and Josh and The Amanda Bynes Show. He was on track to be a megastar in the world of Hollywood, but unfortunately he is one of the many Nickelodeon stars who took a turn for the worst. He starred in a number of low-budget flicks over the years, but his status as a celebrity was gone at that point. But the nail was driven into the coffin in 2021 when Drake was sentenced to 2 years probation and 200 hours of community service after it was revealed he had been grooming a young fan for years. So if you see him in an orange jumpsuit cleaning graffiti off the wall, you know why. Recently it was announced that his wife Janet had filed for divorce from Drake following a situation where he was missing for 5 days on a bender. On the actual paperwork, Janet has cited irreconcilable differences and has requested legal and physical custody of their child. In April of this year, Drake was reported missing only to turn up completely unharmed 5 days later. According to Janet, Drake's mental health has slowly been declining in the last few years. His toxicity towards his partners is nothing new, as his ex Melissa Lingafelt accused him of being verbally manipulative and physically violent. Between his rocky history and declining mental health, we're happy to see that Janet got out of there before anything too crazy took place. Number 2. Billy Porter and Adam Smith. Billy and Adam have been together for 6 years before recently announcing their divorce. The American Horror Story star and his husband Adam met after being introduced by a mutual friend in 2009. They briefly dated but ultimately split before getting back together in 2015 and tying the knot a year later. Over the past few years, they have been one of Hollywood's favorite couples, regularly being spotted at award ceremonies and fancy events, happily holding on to each other. Unfortunately, their relationship seems to have slowly fizzled out as they announced they would be filing for divorce, and the decision wasn't made from a cheating scandal or something like that. This was a conversation they had and a decision they made mutually, claiming they will still be friends for the rest of their lives. They asked everyone to give them privacy, so let's skip the bad joke and move on to the next entry. And coming in at number 1 is Jeremy Allen White and Addison Timlin. Jeremy made a big move in the acting world after his FX comedy The Bear premiered on Disney Plus this past year, but he's actually been making people laugh, cry, and scream since starring as Lip Gallagher in the hit TV series Shameless, a show I definitely haven't watched 10 times start to finish. Nope, not at all. He met his future wife Addison on set of a film called After School in 2008, and they were close friends for almost 12 years before becoming an official item in 2019. The relationship has mainly taken place behind the scenes, apart from a few Instagram posts, but Jeremy's love for his wife has been well known since his acceptance speech at the 2023 Golden Globes, where he won the award for Best Actor in a musical or comedy series. Unfortunately, roughly 2 months ago, Addison filed for divorce from Jeremy with little to no explanation so far. 3 days following the divorce announcement, she posted a pic with herself and her daughter on Instagram with the caption "Single Mom." News to Jeremy, who was under the impression they would continue to co-parent. While their relationship may have ended in a mess, there may be a new one on the horizon, as Jeremy was spotted with Wizards of Waverly Place star Selena Gomez, fresh off of filming a new project overseas, so we'll just have to see what happens.
At number 10, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. I remember when Selena and Justin were the talk of the town. Everyone was obsessed with their relationship, asking them questions about it, whether they were together on the red carpet or alone on a shopping trip. They started dating in 2011 when they were still teenagers, and from that point they had a rocky time together. They were on and off again for a while before finally ending things for good in 2018 when Hailey Baldwin came along. Already people were aware of how toxic Selena and Justin's relationship was, simply because of how many times they had public breakups and makeups, but in early 2020 Selena came forward to talk more in depth about their relationship and how she experienced mistreatment. Selena said that she was, quote, a victim of certain abuse, saying that what she felt was emotional mistreatment from Justin. She also went on to say that it took her a long time to find strength in her experiences and to shake her, quote, victim mentality. Justin never released a statement in response, but in late 2019 he did open up about his actions in past relationships, saying that he became, quote, resentful and disrespectful to women and angry. We don't know at which point this started happening in their relationship, but it's good to see that they are both doing better since moving on. At number 9, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Now, having a list of toxic celebrity relationships, you already know we're going to include Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's tumultuous relationship. A lot was uncovered during their massive court case last year that basically exposed Amber for having hurt Johnny while they were together. We heard stories about Amber severing Johnny's finger with a glass bottle, many of the fights they had, and even recordings of Amber antagonizing and hurting Johnny. There were instances of physical abuse as well as verbal and emotional, showing the world how toxic things really were. We found out about how Amber had been cheating on Johnny and how she allegedly went out of her way to outshine him in their industry, always being ready to make big headlines to overshadow him. When one of the recordings showing Amber admitting to hurting her husband were released, it said that it, quote, exposes that Ms. Heard perpetrated serial violence against Mr. Depp. This went on for far too long, showing us that the toxicity ran deep and it made a mess of everything. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you are enjoying it so far, and also head on over to our gaming channel Viper Girl if you're looking to enjoy some chill gameplay vibes. At number 8, Tina and Ike Turner. Ike and Tina Turner were a powerhouse couple in the eyes of the media as well as fans, but behind the scenes things were very messy and toxic. They first met while Tina was still a teenager and they soon hit it off and started performing together. Soon their duo catapulted them to stardom, bringing them a lot of success, but because they were so close, things got very toxic. They got married in 1962 and stayed together for the following decade, but Tina was living her life in pain. In her book, Tina wrote about how Ike was an abusive partner, saying, quote, "He threw hot coffee in my face, giving me third-degree burns. He used my nose as a punching bag so many times that I could taste blood running down my throat when I sang. He broke my jaw and I couldn't remember what it was like to not have a black eye," end quote. Things got so bad that Tina wanted to end her life, but thankfully she survived her attempt, and she used her survival as fuel to get the strength to leave Ike and this toxic life behind. They eventually went their separate ways, with Tina becoming a bigger star and becoming an advocate, raising awareness about abuse. At number 7, Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. American Horror Story stars Emma Roberts and Evan Peters had a very tumultuous relationship that unfolded in the public eye. Though they both moved on, there was a time when their toxic relationship took over their lives. They started dating in 2012 and they had their share of makeups, breakups, ups and downs until they officially ended things in 2019. Their relationship had its faults. People said that their attitudes towards each other would change a lot, going from having a lovely time together to not speaking to one another for days. Sources also said that while working together on American Horror Story, they would make life on set a living hell. An insider revealed that, quote, "As soon as the director yells cut, Emma and Evan are making out. That is, if they're not screaming at each other," end quote. In 2013, they had an abuse scandal after Emma was arrested on domestic charges after the couple got into a heated argument. Though the incident left Evan with a bloody nose, they tried to move past it and carry on with their relationship. They weren't at all a good couple, and it's best that they are no longer together. At number 6, Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna. One toxic relationship that was broadcast to the world was that between Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna. Though the relationship was pretty short-lived, things were still messy, toxic, and very public. The two got together in January 2016, and just a few months later in April of that year, they announced their engagement. Fast forward to November of 2016, and they welcomed their daughter Dream into the world. Things ended as quickly as they started, and by February of 2017, they announced that they had split after trying to make things work for the sake of their daughter. During their relationship, they showed fans a glimpse into their lives as part of their reality show Rob and Chyna. During this time, sources said that they fought a lot and their actions were fueled by anger and revenge, and there were even allegations of domestic violence. This toxicity wasn't just exclusive to their relationship, however, as it also bled into the Kardashian family as well. They've been going head to head in legal battles, and things have just been rocky ever since, showing that sometimes people really aren't meant to be together. At number 5, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Brangelina used to be one of the hottest celebrity matches in Hollywood. Once upon a time, they were seen as the industry's it couple, having spanned over 10 years and raising many kids together, but their divorce is where things got toxic and messy. When the couple announced they were calling it quits in 2016, a lot of people wondered why, and one of the answers given was because of a dispute that Brad had allegedly had with Angelina about his substance abuse that resulted in Brad getting into an altercation with their oldest son, Maddox. It was alleged that Brad was abusive, and though an investigation cleared him of said allegations, Angie is now saying that she's prepared to show proof that Brad was in fact hurting his family. Recently, Angelina came forward saying that she is willing to offer her children's testimony against Brad as proof, and this could blow the doors off their relationship, giving us more information about how toxic things really were. At number 4, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. With the recent divorce announcement from Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, we are finding out more about the demise of their marriage. It turns out they felt that their relationship was crumbling towards the end of last year, and the couple decided to seek different living arrangements, spending time apart as a result of, quote, downright toxicity in their marriage. Though they said they wanted to make things work, according to sources, it reached a point where, quote, bickering turned into nasty blow-ups and confrontations, end quote. They didn't want to expose their kids to this kind of negativity, and they took some time apart, but that time apart is looking to be a lot longer now. After Kanye reportedly blew up at Kim, they were never able to patch things up after that, and so they filed for divorce. Before all of this happened, they seemed to have been on good terms as they supported one another through every bump in the road, but in recent months, their support and good conversation turned cold and apparently evolved into them only speaking when necessary and only talking about menial things like what to have for dinner. I'm wishing them all the best in the days to come as they sort out their affairs. At number 3, Eminem and Kim Mathers. When asked about some toxic relationships they know of, a surprising amount of people reference rapper Eminem and his ex-wife Kim Mathers. Eminem, whose real name is Marshall Mathers, met Kim in a youth home in 1988 when they were teenagers. From that point, they stayed by each other's side, even living together at his mother's home. From that point until 1999, the two had a rocky relationship, being on and off again. And in 1995, they had a daughter, and later on, they got married. Their wedding took place on June 14, 1999, just before Marshall's first major tour as his career was taking off. Kim said that this tour took the greatest toll on their marriage, saying, quote, when Marshall's tour first started is when his ego went poof. Like he was a god. That's what he thought. I was just told that I should be grateful that he still talks to me. You know how many women throw themselves at him, and I pretty much felt like a piece of crap, end quote. From then, their marriage went downhill as they were met with cheating scandals and mental health struggles. Eventually, they got a divorce in 2000, remarried in 2006, then divorced again, this time ending things for good. They're reportedly still friends, but being in a romantic relationship just was too toxic for them. At number 2, Mel Gibson and Oksana Grigorova. Mel Gibson is probably one of the most hated people in Hollywood. I think it's safe to make that assumption after all the scandals he's been in surrounding his hate for so many people. Mel has been in a toxic relationship before, and many of us are aware of the horrible ways he's treated people, especially his former partner, Oksana Grigorova. The two had a very messy breakup in 2010, and at this time, an audio recording came out that showed Mel yelling at Oksana and saying horrible things to her about her body because he was mad that she allegedly lied to him about having breast implants. In the recording, Mel was heard saying horrible things about how he hated the way she looked, claiming she looked provocative and inappropriate, and even saying that if she were to be taken advantage of, it would be her fault for looking the way she did. This was a nasty, swear word-ridden rant that honestly no one deserves to hear. If this recording didn't paint enough of a toxic picture, then I don't know what would. And finally, number 1, Mike Tyson and Robin Givens. Back in the late 80s, Mike Tyson was dating model Robin Givens. Shortly after they started dating, Robin announced that she was pregnant with Mike's child, and so he married her to, quote, do the right thing. Mike had given Robin and her mother $15 million in order to get themselves settled in a nice house, and it seemed like Mike took care of them. But after a few months passed, Mike noticed that Robin's pregnancy wasn't progressing, and that's when she told him that she actually had lost the baby months prior and just didn't tell him. He was hurt by this discovery, but still stayed by her side. It wasn't until their famous Barbara Walters interview came out that things really cracked for the couple and things got toxic. The interview was originally supposed to be an exclusive with Mike, but apparently just before getting started, Robin pulled Barbara aside to tell her that she had some things she wanted to say, and then proceeded to speak out about how Mike had allegedly been hurting her, saying that she was being mistreated in the relationship. They soon divorced after, but people believe that the whole truth wasn't uncovered. Sources say that Robin was manipulating Mike and that things had been toxic because of her, but Mike just let it happen. It's confusing and messy, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. At number 10, Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Justin Timberlake was exposed this year after the truth came out about his toxic relationship and breakup with Britney Spears back in the early 2000s. The Framing Britney Spears documentary that was released recently looks into the way the pop star was shown in the media, from paparazzi to interviews, and it dives deep into how this stardom affected her. A big part of the documentary explores Justin Timberlake's role in the media's mistreatment of Britney. After their relationship ended, Justin made Britney look like a villain in the relationship, accusing her of cheating and essentially weaponizing their breakup to boost his career. The media then went on a frenzy, blaming and shaming her when she really didn't deserve it. People's eyes were opened into just how toxic their relationship and subsequent breakup was, and a lot of sympathy has been given towards Britney as the truth has finally come out about the whole thing. For a long time, people saw the pop star as the villain, but now we've learned that she was really just a victim of a toxic relationship. At number 9, Ariel Winter. Modern Family star Ariel Winter has had a toxic relationship with her family, and things were so toxic, in fact, that she was emancipated from them. Her family drama was outed as the court hearing for her emancipation trial went public back in 2012, and it showed the public how she was treated, specifically by her mother. It was alleged that Ariel's mom interfered with her daughter's work because of her, quote, harassment and interference. There were reports of her mom not feeding Ariel and dressing her in a way that was inappropriate for someone her age. It was also reported that Ariel's mom had repeatedly laid hands on her child as well. There were a number of testimonies that painted a toxic image of Ariel's family, and she was eventually granted emancipation after a 3-year battle. Some of the most heartbreaking toxic relationships are those between family because they're the ones who are supposed to love you the most, but they can also hurt you the most. Before I carry on with the video, I would just like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video because it really does help us out a lot. At number 8, Chad Johnson and Evelyn Lozada. Chad Johnson, also known as Chad Ochocinco, and ex-wife Evelyn Lozada were only married for 2 months, but so much toxic drama happened in that short amount of time to permanently damage their relationship. Their relationship had been intense for a long time, but it wasn't until after they got married that the world learned just how toxic it was. After dating for less than a year, the two got married in the 4th of July ceremony in 2012, but just 2 months later, there came an incident that shattered their relationship. Evelyn recalled finding a receipt in Chad's car for items that prompted the idea that Chad was cheating. The two fought, and it all ended with Chad seriously injuring his wife. Chad was later arrested for battery and domestic violence, and they divorced shortly after the incident. Evelyn did an interview after the ordeal where she opened up about her feelings on the situation.
You know, I knew that he was lying, and I told him, I never forget telling him, I said, I'm not sticking by you through this. I don't care if my marriage is the laughing stock.
And the two eventually went their separate ways. Overall, the relationship burnt out really quickly, but it was fueled by toxicity, and in the end, no one really deserves to have that in their lives. At number 7, Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose. Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose were married for some time after tying the knot in 2013, but after 14 months of marriage, things got toxic, they divorced, and it was a nasty breakup. There were allegations of cheating, and custody of their son was also up for debate. Years later, Amber Rose opened up about her brief marriage to Wiz Khalifa and the toxicity around it, and spoke about her regrets concerning their relationship. She once said how she regretted getting married when she did because they didn't give themselves enough time to grow in their relationship, and this was one of the things that contributed to the hostility. Amber also said that she felt as though they would have had more success in their marriage had they gotten married later in life, calling their wedding a mistake at the time. They took some time and have grown to be friends, so maybe this toxicity has been forgotten about by them, but not so much by their longtime fans. At number 6, Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. Here we have yet another toxic Kardashian relationship. In one of my previous videos, I talked about how Kim and Kanye's relationship was toxic, but here's another one that contained a bombshell cheating scandal. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson have had a very difficult relationship. Things were apparently toxic from the very beginning, since it was believed that Tristan was cheating on his ex with Khloe when they first got together, so the infidelity in their relationship was apparent from the get-go. Things were going pretty okay for a while, with Khloe even getting pregnant with Tristan's baby, but in April 2018, just shortly after their daughter True was born, photos of Tristan appearing to cheat were leaked, and TMZ even leaked footage from 2017 showing Tristan kissing women at a club. This was a huge deal, especially as this all came out around the birth of their daughter, but what surprised a lot of people is how quickly Khloe got over it. Things mostly died down after a few weeks, but later in 2019, more cheating allegations came out, detailing how he had been cheating on Khloe again, this time with their longtime family friend Jordyn Woods. This was supposedly the nail in their relationship's coffin, but now in 2021, there have been reports saying Khloe and Tristan are back together, and that Khloe has mostly gotten over his infidelity. This doesn't look good and really just looks like a toxic mess, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens with them. At number 5, Beyonce and JayZ. Even though they are one of the industry's most famous couples, that doesn't mean they aren't toxic. Though Queen Bey and JayZ are seen by many as a Hollywood power couple, they have also had their troubles and toxicity, and they seem to have started back in 2014. It all started when Solange and JayZ got into that big elevator fight at the Met. For a long time, no one really knew what the reason was for this brawl. Some thought it was money, others thought it was family drama, but apparently it was because he had been confronted about an alleged affair he was having with his former business partner's ex-wife. Though no one really acknowledged or spoke about this apparent infidelity, things started to get even more toxic in 2016 after Beyonce released her album Lemonade, where she made several subtle and not so subtle comments on her husband's alleged affair. Of course, instead of talking about it in private, JayZ instead released his own album in response, where he apologized to his wife for his infidelity and addressed some of the issues in their relationship. After all of this music drama, the two of them were able to work through their differences and have sought out couples therapy to rebuild their bond. No one knows if this scandal still hangs over their head and if that toxicity is still there, but at least they're trying to work through it civilly. At number 4, Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan. Social media feuds can often bring out the most toxic relationships. Even though they have reportedly been friends for some time, influencers Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan have been caught in a feud after Cole alleged that Tana hacked his social media accounts and tried to sue him for $100,000. Cole called Tana out after sharing a screenshot of a cease and desist text that he was allegedly sent by Tana's lawyer. The text he received essentially warned Cole that he was in violation of a contract that he had signed with Tana and that a breach of contract would subject him to pay $100,000. The contract in question, a non-disclosure agreement, is one that Tana allegedly has her circle of friends sign each year, and so now Cole is apparently in trouble after one of his social media posts violated the terms of said contract. Cole has also claimed that Tana hired someone to hack his social media accounts, where they were then able to delete a number of his accounts, like his YouTube channel and Twitter account. Cole has also claimed that Tana has kicked him out of her house, used him for free makeup services, and would even go through his personal belongings when he wasn't home. Even friends who seem happy on the surface clearly have their dark, toxic secrets as well. At number 3, Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have been the talk of the town ever since their bombshell Oprah interview, and they've been scrutinized for a lot of what they spoke about. One of the biggest things that people have taken away from their interview was their toxic relationship with the royal family. According to sources, one of the most strained relationships is that between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. Meghan and Kate have reportedly been on poor terms for quite a long time, with some sources saying that they haven't spoken to each other in over a year. A lot of people say that things are toxic between the two of them, and this narrative was heightened because of the interview. During the interview, Meghan addressed the public's view on her feud with Kate over Princess Charlotte's dress at Meghan's wedding, saying that Kate made her cry over it. Though they eventually patched things up and Kate apologized, they haven't spoken to each other much, and because of the feud between their husbands, it's added even more strain to their relationship. The royal family clearly has a lot of drama going on these days, and even one of the world's most famous families can have its toxicity. Hopefully Meghan and Kate can one day patch things up for the sake of being rid of this negative energy. At number 2, Cardi B and Offset. Rappers Cardi B and Offset have had a rocky and toxic relationship. Though they've been together for some time now and they have a daughter together, that doesn't mean that their relationship is all sunshine and rainbows. There have really been a few times where their behavior has opened up a lot of fans' eyes and have labeled their relationship as toxic. Rumors have been a part of their relationship for a while, the most common rumor being about cheating. In September of 2020, Cardi actually filed for divorce from Offset after rumors started circulating that he had cheated on his wife and he had actually gotten another woman pregnant during that time. Fast forward a month to October 2020 and the relationship was patched up after Offset bought Cardi a $300,000 car and a billboard dedicated to her. When Cardi took him back, that's when the internet started talking about how toxic their relationship really was. People were honestly very surprised that Cardi took Offset back even after everything he did to her, with some adding that Offset was using guilt and emotional manipulation to keep her in his life. In response to some fans' comments, Cardi defended her relationship, saying that it wasn't toxic as everyone believes and that she is not in an abusive relationship. Does the fact that she's defending her husband make you think that they are in fact toxic or just misunderstood? Let me know down in the comments. Finally, at number 1, Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick. The Kardashians have seen their fair share of toxic relationships, obviously, but out of all of them, Kourtney and Scott's relationship has to be one of, if not the most toxic. Kourtney and Scott have been on and off again since 2006, and even though they've broken up so many times, they can't seem to distance themselves from each other enough. The pair co-parent their 3 kids, but they also cause a lot of drama whether or not they are together. But they've never been completely out of each other's lives, since Scott is also part of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians lineup. Because they've been through so much together, fans continue to ship them, but really, we shouldn't be romanticizing their toxic relationship. In the past, Scott has cheated on Kourtney, and even when they were broken up, has said that he's dated other women, specifically those much younger than him, only to make Kourtney jealous. Kourtney and Scott also struggled with Scott's substance abuse problem, with Kourt once going so far as to tell Scott that if he didn't get help, she wouldn't allow him to see their kid, and for a long time, Scott refused to get help. Things finally ended for good in 2015 when Scott was accused of cheating with one of his exes, and Kourtney just had enough of his infidelity. From that point, they haven't been in an official relationship, but they haven't kept their distance either. Kourtney has made comments about having another kid with Scott even though they aren't together, and Scott has been very vocal about how heartbroken he is to see Kourt in a new relationship. Bottom line here is that they are toxic and that we have to stop giving in to them. At number 10, Chris Brown and Rihanna. One of the most toxic relationships out there was that between Chris Brown and Rihanna. No one is quick to forget that incident that happened after the pre-Grammys party in 2009. Though they were seen as the industry's it couple, things were far from perfect and were clearly very negative and toxic. On the night before the Grammy Awards, Chris and Rihanna got into a serious physical altercation which left Rihanna hospitalized from her injuries. Chris was labeled as a monster for what he did that night. A police investigation was conducted and Chris pled guilty to felony assault. As a result, he was sentenced to 5 years probation and 6 months community service. A lot of people believe that he should have been given a harsher sentence because of how severely he hurt his girlfriend, but what do you guys think? Did he deserve more punishment or did he get what he deserved? At number 9, Mariah Carey and James Packer. Apparently, Mariah Carey is a horrible person. In the past, we've heard stories from people who've worked with the singer saying how she is so mean behind the scenes, but apparently the same goes in her romantic relationships as well. Yeah, maybe all she wants for Christmas is you, but at what cost? According to some sources, her relationship with James Packer was the most toxic. She allegedly treated him like garbage, even throwing his personal items, including his laptop, out of the window, all because he played a Beyonce song. Their relationship ended just before they were set to get married because she, quote, wasn't happy with his behavior, but James' management fired back, claiming that Mariah was twisting things. Bottom line is that things were toxic and needed to end. Now before I go any further, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video, and also head on over to my gaming channel Viper Girl if you're looking to enjoy some more awesome content. At number 8, Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio. I couldn't imagine the pressure of being an A-list star. The public's eyes are always on you, from your everyday outings to your love life. Having a relationship must also be very difficult when you're famous because everyone feels entitled to having an opinion on your love life. When one of Hollywood's biggest stars, Marilyn Monroe, got married to Joe DiMaggio, it was a very big deal. Everyone thought that the actress and the athlete looked like a beautiful match who were deeply in love, having met and married within a relatively short amount of time. Really, at the time, they were hashtag relationship goals. They got married in a quiet City Hall ceremony in January 1954 and turned a work trip to Japan into their honeymoon, as they had to squeeze their special day in between work engagements. But just 9 months later, their spark had faded and their relationship was over. The problem was that Joe allegedly wanted Marilyn to be a stay-at-home wife, but because Marilyn was at the height of her career and she loved her work, she wouldn't agree to that, and she just wanted to keep working. Joe also apparently had a hard time coming to terms with his wife's public image, being a Hollywood idol, and apparently her famous subway gate scene was the last straw for him. Their marriage ended with Marilyn citing mental cruelty as one of the reasons behind their divorce because of how toxic things had become. She didn't like how her husband refused to support her, and that's just not the kind of energy she needed in her life. At number 7, Kate Moss and Pete Doherty. There are many ways that a relationship can be toxic. It can be more one-sided or it can be mutual. Kate Moss and Pete Doherty's relationship was one that was toxic from both sides. Though they were engaged at some point, they still had their problems. In an interview, Pete once said that with Kate he was, quote, always dodging bullets. He claimed that Kate had a bad temper, saying that she once accused him out of the blue of having an affair and then verbally and physically assaulted him. On the other hand, Kate had a big problem with Pete's substance abuse, demanding that he quit, but also taunting him with substances of her own. They were an on and off again couple who really just weren't good for each other. They kept going back to each other until around 2007, where they decided to stay apart for good. And it was a very toxic situation, but their breakup was probably for the best. At number 6, Saweetie and Quavo. No one really acknowledged it until recently, but singer Saweetie and rapper Quavo had a very toxic relationship. The pair recently announced their breakup, and though it started off looking like a simple case of two people growing apart, soon the public found out that there was more to the story than once thought. Shortly after announcing their breakup, footage was leaked which showed the former couple fighting in an elevator. The footage showed the two of them in a physical altercation, showing Saweetie trying to strike Quavo, a suitcase being thrown, Quavo falling on top of his girlfriend, and ending with Saweetie limping away. Though this footage was from a year ago, it gave people a different perspective on how their relationship was at the time. Their problems were only just now publicized and sort of exposed the two of them for being toxic. Both Saweetie and Quavo have said that they've moved on from this incident, and Quavo issued a statement assuring that he's never abused his girlfriend. Their breakup has caused some drama within Quavo's family, making this a very toxic situation. At number 5, Luanne and Tom D'Agostino. Nothing says toxic like reality TV. Everything on those shows are incredibly toxic, so to have one feature a toxic relationship wouldn't really be much of a surprise. Real Housewives of New York cast members Luanne and Tom D'Agostino were once a couple whose poor relationship was broadcast to the world. Apparently, everyone in the cast knew about how toxic things were, and some of them actually warned Luanne about Tom, saying that he was untrustworthy and that he was still pining after his ex. This complicated things, but they still carried on with their relationship, and the two got married on New Year's Eve in 2016. Towards the end of the show's 8th season, it was revealed that one of the Real Housewives cast members had photos of Tom kissing another woman just days after his and Luanne's engagement party. Soon it became apparent to the public that there were some serious troubles in their relationship. Luanne and Tom even got into a heated argument in public at a restaurant, which ended with Luanne slapping Tom across the face. This toxic relationship and Tom's constant infidelity was never resolved until the very end. They were only married for 7 months, and those were probably some of the most toxic 7 months of their lives. At number 4, Axl Rose and Aaron Everly. Moving on to a toxic relationship from the rock world, we have the tumultuous relationship of Axl Rose and Aaron Everly. Their relationship was very publicized and is one that is certainly ingrained in the rock world. The two met at a party in 1986 while Axl, the frontman for Guns N' Roses, was still an up-and-coming musician, and the two formed an instant connection. Aaron quickly became one of the most important people in Axl's life, becoming the inspiration for the song Sweet Child of Mine. Despite being a beloved and good-looking match on the outside, they actually had a very toxic relationship, but that didn't stop them from getting married in 1990 in a Las Vegas ceremony. The toxicity started even before they were married because, according to Aaron, Axl allegedly threatened to harm himself if she didn't marry him, so already things were off to a pretty rocky start. Their marriage didn't really last very long, as it was annulled in 1991, just 9 months after getting married. Fast forward to 1994, and Aaron filed a civil suit against Axl where she alleged that she had been a victim of citing Axl as her attacker. Things have been messy since their split, as Aaron has auctioned off memorabilia that she had kept from her days with Axl and the band, looking to rid herself of any trace of her old ties with them, showing us that things really were quite toxic back then. At number 3, Elizabeth Taylor and Conrad Hilton. Elizabeth Taylor was one of Hollywood's most memorable icons. Though she was incredibly successful in her professional life, her love life was not. Because she was married 8 times, she had some regrettable relationships, and some of them caused scandals, but others were just downright toxic. One of her shortest and most toxic marriages was to hotel heir Conrad Hilton. The pair were only married for 205 days before getting their marriage annulled after feeling neglected and abused by her new husband. This was her first marriage, as she was only 18 at the time of her wedding, but shortly after they tied the knot, Liz started to notice how indifferent Conrad was to her, recalling how she would feel hurt by the abusive language her husband was using towards her. During their honeymoon, the two also reportedly fought a lot and spent more time apart than they did together. So things were off to a rough start from the very beginning. Eventually, Liz saw that nothing was going to change with Conrad, and so she made the steps towards ending their marriage. Liz ended up winning her divorce on the grounds of mental cruelty. She also refused alimony and took back her maiden name. Essentially, she erased any connection she had to Conrad, almost pretending like it never happened. She later told news sources that her idea of marriage was naive, and so she regretted her decision to marry him in the first place. At number 2, Jennifer Lopez and Ojani Noah. Jennifer Lopez has been in her fair share of high-profile relationships. She's even been married 3 times. Now, although those marriages didn't really work out, they ended on okay-ish terms, except for her marriage to Ojani Noah, because that ish was just toxic. Their marriage lasted less than a year, but their relationship after their divorce was where things got super toxic. Ojani was seemingly only in the relationship to reap the benefits of being with a celebrity. He spent the time that they were together documenting much of his life with her, as well as her habits behind the scenes, preparing them for his own tea spill, if you will. This relationship was doomed from the start, but JLo just didn't see that until it was too late. I mean, you would think that your partner isn't trying to use you for money and clout, so why would you really be expecting that? After their divorce, Noah tried leaking intimate photos and videos of the couple on their honeymoon, and he even had plans to release a tell-all book about the singer. It was almost like he was a behind-the-scenes paparazzi. JLo actually ended up suing Ojani in 2009 for $10 million, citing that the videos he released, as well as the book and movie deals, violated an agreement that they had which prohibited him from exposing the singer's life. That is some very toxic behavior. Using someone for your own personal gain is never a good thing. Finally, at number 1, Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson. Recently, actress Evan Rachel Wood came forward about her extremely toxic relationship with singer Marilyn Manson, as she cited years of manipulation, brainwashing, and pain, outing the singer as her abuser. She opened up about some of the things that she endured and witnessed, like starvation, sleep deprivation, threats, invasion of privacy, as well as anti-Semitism and racism. Sometimes this toxicity would bleed into other people's lives, as Wood alleged that Manson made threats against her loved ones as well. Manson's toxicity was apparent even after their relationship ended, as he said in an interview shortly after their relationship ended that he tried calling Evan while harming himself and then blamed her for his actions, saying, quote, "I wanted to show her the pain she put me through. It was like, I want you to physically see what you've done." Like, that is very disgusting behavior, and it hurts my soul to know that anyone has ever experienced this kind of behavior. From enduring verbal and physical violence, Evan has now spoken out about her experiences, and Manson has lost everything. As a result of the allegations against him, he was dropped by his music label and agent, and is under investigation by the LA Sheriff's Department. The actress also condemned the music industry and his label for covering up the many instances of abuse, saying that they were aware of the circumstances behind the scenes. Evan also isn't the only person to come forward with similar allegations. Now the fight for justice is on, and we are hoping for the best for Evan, as well as everyone who bravely came forward, and those still healing from the trauma.
Number 10, Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet is slowly building his acting repertoire in Hollywood, and so far, it's going really well. He starred as the lead in Dune and was recently announced to be playing Willy Wonka. It was also recently announced that he's seeing Kylie Jenner every week. While the announcement of them being a couple is a little out of nowhere, the fact is that Kylie has been co-parenting her 2 kids with Travis Scott, and he did not appreciate the secrecy. He said that he felt blindsided by the announcement, but respects her decision to move on romantically. This relationship isn't all that recent, however, as it was reported that the two may have shared a private moment or two during her marriage to Scott. Neither party have confirmed or denied those rumors, but just seeing these two in a picture together makes us think there's no way their relationship is fresh, right? Number 9, Megan Fox and MGK. Megan and Machine Gun Kelly first met on the set of Midnight in Switchgrass, and for anyone who is unaware, MGK has been slowly making a move to the silver screen. While it may be in smaller roles, his performances are anything but. During production of the film, it was forced to shut down due to it being March of 2020. Need I go on? While everyone flew home, these two decided to keep in touch, apparently being seen walking together only 2 months after the film was shut down. The slew of evidence began to arrive on Instagram. The relationship has been chronicled since the very beginning for all of us to enjoy, and MGK seems to be a good BF for the most part. But these two are most certainly doomed to fail into the pit of despair that is a broken relationship. Why, you may ask? I don't know, I'm not psychic. Or am I? No. Still nothing. Yeah, you got nothing. Number 8. Justin and Hailey Bieber. Before becoming husband and wife, Justin and Hailey were slowly building up their careers as a musician and model, respectively. They met while Justin was still dating fellow pop musician and former Disney star Selena Gomez and struck up a secret romance. Seeing as Justin and Selena were constantly on and off again, Hailey and Justin became closer and closer with each subsequent split, being friends at first but eventually becoming an official item in 2018. While they were both fairly famous, with Justin being a lot more famous, before becoming official, following their marriage, it's arguable that they have risen to a new level of success and recognition. Justin was one of the most replayed artists around the world, and Hailey has been working hard in the fashion industry both on the stage and behind the sewing machine. While the relationship may be true love, the fame and recognition that has come with their new celebrity status will certainly be driving this relationship for the foreseeable future. Number 7. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. These two met in the most old-fashioned way around. Orlando stole Katy's cheeseburger. In 2016, Katy met Orlando at an event for the Golden Globes. They barely knew each other at the time. Katy asked her security team to bring her 10 In-N-Out burgers, and all of a sudden, Orlando's hand appeared from thin air, grabbed a burger, and ran off. Katy's first words to him were, "Hey, that's my burger!" It's so cute to imagine just a little Orlando Bloom running away like, "You can't catch me, I have your burger, nom nom nom." Kinda cute. They eventually met properly and began spending more and more time together in May of 2016, and they announced their official couple status to the world. Their relationship has been public and filled with fun pics. On their first Halloween together, the couple dressed up as former President Donald Trump and his arch nemesis, a woman. Nope, I'm just kidding, she dressed as Hillary Clinton. They did briefly split in 2017, but were brought back together after only a year apart. Since getting engaged in 2019, their combined net worth between Katy Perry's success as a musician and Orlando's stellar career on the silver screen, the couple share a roughly $300 million account. That's a lot of clams. Currently, Katy's place in the eyes of the media is that of a villain, following the reveal of her true nature on American Idol. She roasted a mom on the show and it was harsh. We shall see if the relationship will hold up now that Katy's not getting those Idol checks every month, but I think it will. Number 6. The Weeknd and Bella Hadid. In 2016, Bella was on the cover of Glamour magazine where she announced that she was dating The Weeknd. At the time, The Weeknd had just released his popular album Starboy, and while it received critical acclaim upon initial release, following the announcement of Bella, The Weeknd became a headliner in the news world. Questions being thrown left and right of who, what, when, where, and why. Since then, the couple has been going strong and seems to be using their celebrity status to improve each other's careers. Bella has maintained her modeling gig and now acts as a social media influencer, while The Weeknd has only grown in popularity, even being cast to star in a new series on HBO Max called The Idol, chronicling a fictional pop star's attempt to remain relevant and her meeting of a man named Tedros, a nightclub impresario with a sordid past. His role has been well received so far, but the graphic content of the show and Weeknd's role in it has made fans question the musician's creative aspirations, surely putting the magic of his celebrity coupling to the test in some way. I'm sure. Number 5. Kim Kardashian and Tom Brady. For those unaware, the NFL quarterback Mr. Tom Brady recently split with his longtime partner Gisele Bündchen, making him single and ready to mingle. Since her split from ex-Kanye West, Kim Kardashian hasn't been able to find the right fit for her future man, not without trying of course. In fact, the last gossip is that Kimmy and Tommy are secretly an item. The rumors began circulating after they were spotted attending a mutual friend's party in the Hamptons. The annual white party, which really needs a different name, was the C and B scene event of the year. Kim and Tom were seen being very flirty with each other throughout the night. The next day they were seen spending time together one-on-one at the beach, dipping and diving. They were also spotted dancing at a Hamptons nightclub that same day. Now they haven't confirmed or denied the rumors, probably enjoying the secrecy, adding a little mystery to their love life. While these two may be having some secret fun right now, Kim's track record suggests that Tom will be kicked to the curb like a football towards the U post thingy. I don't know, I watch the Super Bowl for the movie trailers usually, so sorry. Number 4. Al Pacino and Noor Alfallah. Noor has been making headlines recently after it was announced that she would be bearing Al Pacino's spawn. The 29-year-old film producer was confirmed via publicists that Noor and Al had been in a secret relationship for roughly a year. At some point, we're assuming 9 months prior to 2 weeks ago, Noor became pregnant, which Al didn't take all that well. Upon initially hearing the news, Al had a little bit of a freak out and briefly broke up with Noor, instead returning to his ex-girlfriend Beverly D'Angelo. Despite his little pound and pound, so to speak, Al eventually returned to Noor with the intention of raising his newborn. This man is 82 years old. He may be a new dad, but it's not gonna be for very long. Wow, that's rough to say. Al looks more and more disheveled when appearing in paparazzi pics or alongside pretty much anyone, so we're not sure what leads him to believe he's about to be the dad of the year. He'll be lucky to make it to dad of the month. That's kind of up to say. Number 3. Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. The Smith family has been at the top of the news storm recently after it was announced that her Facebook talk show Red Table was being cancelled. One topic that was brought up on the series before its cancellation was the revelation of an entanglement, quote unquote, between Pinkett and singer-songwriter August Alsina during a brief break the couple was taking in the early 2000s. Pinkett was quick to bounce back though after breaking up with Will, entangling with August, and eventually back with Will to continue the marriage. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though, as the couple still has marital issues to this day and have been plagued with cheating rumors ever since. They've been thrown even further under the bus by their own kids, Willow and Jaden, who have called the pair out on their lack of proper parenting skills and for essentially leaving them to their own devices. Together, Jada and Will carry around a dark storm cloud of negative energy and spread it to everyone they interact with. You would think these guys would just split and save each other the mental hassle, but just look at Will's house! That thing could fit thousands of people inside it. It has its own everything. Them splitting up would mean losing their fancy house, and we wouldn't want that, would we? But what I will say is that I think it's great that they're actually trying. That's nice. That's good. Number 2. Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes. Shawn and Camila were actually together a few years ago before they ultimately split in 2019. However, thanks to the human brain being the joy that it is, they couldn't stop thinking about each other and got back together earlier this year. Splitting and getting back together is one thing, but the public way they've done it is so in our faces. They collaborated together to make music to be like, hey look, we're here again. These two are so flippy floppy they might as well be pancakes, and now the world is forced to watch them kiss and cuddle with their tongues out over and over again when we know they are moments away from possibly ending the relationship altogether. Number 1. Taylor Swift and whoever is next. Sorry. Taking the top spot on our list is Taylor Swift, the queen of pop, who seems to be growing stronger and stronger with pretty much every breakup. She dated everyone from Tom Hiddleston to Maddie Healy with mixed results. As I said, with each man that leaves her life, a new hit single or popular album seems to appear from thin air. Recently, the news broke that she was no longer seeing Mr. Healy, the frontman of the popular band The 1975, after only a month of being an item. The last guy she was with took 6 years to get the goods out of. Whoever ends up being next on her list will surely suffer the wrath of Taylor. Will they be fast and furious like Maddie, or slow and steady like Joe Alwyn? Or will it just work out for the girl for once? I don't know.